sponsor who has joined us now. Are you there?
Good to see the freaky daddy. How you doing today?
Thank you once again for sponsoring this innovative live session so that people can come and learn. And because this one alone that we are doing, you're already giving back to the people, because by yourself you are sponsoring this and saying, look, we want you to be able to understand some basic things about the land before you delve into it. So thank you once again for this, sir.
Thank you for having me. It's good to be here. Really, really good to be here.
So what we're talking about today is we want to understand the types of lands that are available in Nigeria, especially in Nigeria. For potential buyers or those, those that after this they will be interested and they will hear, so that people are not just packing their money and putting it in what they don't know. So we want to know what types of lands do we have? What type of title do we have? So that it won't be a case of you buy land, finish. Now we saw one recently in the news. They said they went to trade somewhere and people are complaining. So to avoid things like that, we want to have a very wonderful conversation.
Thank you for having me. It's good to be here, and I'm excited that we're going to be looking at this topic. Because can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now, sir.
Somebody was calling me on Instagram. So a lot of people, a lot of people have had their hands burnt when it comes to investing in real estate, and it's usually because they don't even understand different types of land, different types of title. And I hope today we're able to do justice to that. At least people get educated, they get empowered, and they know what exactly these things are.
Okay, sir. So the first question I'll ask you, sir, is why do we have issue of land documentation inconsistency in Nigeria? Too much drama with land in Nigeria. Why do we first have that problem?
Thank you very much. So I will trace it back to the 1978 Land Use Act. So it was a law that says that all land belongs or is vested in the governor's hand to keep in trust for the citizen. So what that means is that the governor of a state has every say, is the owner of the land in the state. And by history, families own land, not governors.
Yeah.
Every family, we own our land. We all have a village we come from. We have ancestral land. So for a law to now say the governor is the owner of the land, what has now happened is that in Nigeria, many people are having to pay for land twice. Because first of all, you have to pay the family whose ancestral lineage, right, own the land. Second of all, you have to still come back and pay government to ratify or to get a CO or to get one document or the other. So there's always that issue consistently where it's a case of a law, it started in 1978 that says the governor owns the land. So these are constantly created issues in Nigeria, and only God will help us with that. I personally recommend that law should be abolished. It's a senseless law. It doesn't make sense. We all have land in our village. We all own our land. One governor can't come and say he's the owner. But the law is the law. There's nothing we can do as at now.
So that is the genesis of the problem, the Land Use Act, where that gives all of our lands to the government. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me. Can you please explain to us what is land under acquisition? That is, some we say some committed, some not committed.
Not committed.
What does it mean? Yes. What does it mean? Land under.
Beautiful. These are very good questions. So, because that law says governor own the land, so usually you have a situation where a governor can come and say he has acquired a particular land, which is called we call it what do we call it, acquisition. So the governor has acquired a particular land. So there are two types. There's the committed one. Committed one is the law says in trust for the people. So normally, any governor that is doing that law well it will only take a land and say, okay, we are doing express road here, or we are doing this, or we are building hospital, or we are building school. So the lands that the governor takes and says there is a school, we are doing a school, we are doing road, those are usually committed. But sometimes they just say, we are taking over this land. What are they trying to do? What will be there? Nothing. So that's the uncommitted one. So usually the uncommitted one, you can still go back to the government, pay some tax, you know, try to do some ratification here and there. Sometimes you're able to work on those ones. But if it's already committed, there's nothing you can do, because the government has planned that they will do road here, they will build schools here, or they will build hospital here. I mean, just don't even near such land. So a lot of time when you want to buy land, and these are reasons why you need to do your research and know what you're buying, right? Or deal with people who know how this thing works. To say, I'm buying a land, because a lot of time, because people are looking for cheap land. I remember a woman one time, I mean, she's based here in Dubai, and she told me she got this property in Aja for 8 million naira per plot, and that is facing the express. I said, as at that time, I said, Aja, right now, in fact, Aja is as expensive as 70 million for just a plot of land. But this was, I think, five years ago. So I said, 8 million. It's not realistic. He said, no, it was favored. You know, I was favored. I was lucky. I said, this thing is not, you know, forget it. Only to call me back a year later and say, hey, do you know a good lawyer that can fight for me? I said, what happened? He said, apparently that land is a committed land. There is a road that is supposed to pass through that place. And as she wanted to start building, the contractor said, let me even make research. Because if you start building now, you know, and there's something, because this thing is too good to be true. Only for him to then do his research, and then they discover that the road is going to pass that place. And her money has gone. She paid 2 plots. So any wafa and wofo, a lot of us in the scheme of wanting something cheap, something affordable, we find ourselves being swindled, right, into buying land that is even committed. Right? If it's even an acquisition that is even not committed, maybe there's hope. Is that hope would maybe, but when it's committed, there's nothing anybody can do. So you need to know these things before buying. When a land is cheap, ask why. In fact, one of the things I tell, particularly those in diaspora, always make inquiry of prices of land around certain areas. The most expensive land in this world is in Lagos, Banana Island. The place that will have had, you know, a more expensive land is New York, Manhattan. But they don't have land in New York again. They sell floors. You can buy 20th floor, 50th floor in Manhattan, because they don't have land again. But the next most expensive is Banana Island in Lagos. You buy it in dollars, and per square meter you buy from between 1.2 million to 1.8 million, meaning for 100 for one plot of land in Banana Island as of today, you are looking at $2 million, one plot of land. In Lagos. And it's not going to get better, because some of the recent research, Washington Post did a particular survey, and they projected that by 2100, Lagos will be the biggest city in the world, having over 80 million people there. And the land wouldn't have increased. So the land would have increased. So anybody who have anything small in Lagos will be a big man. And that's why I tell people, anywhere, even if it's bush, go and buy land anywhere in Lagos now. Go and buy. Go and buy. Go and buy. Else, years from now, you're going to be regretting. As many of our older parents are regretting. I met a 84-year-old man. Baba was given 84. Baba was the first facial surgeon. He came all the way from the UK. And they gave him 6 acres in Surulere. This was almost 50 years ago. Surulere. Apparently, Surulere was bush that time. So they told Baba 1 acre. I said, me, God forbid, I just came from UK. You want to give me Surulere bush? Exactly. So, I mean, Baba will have, you know, hammer big time. So there's committed acquisition and there's non-committed, but sometimes it's even better to leave any committed land. But in many cases, if it's not committed acquisition, you can always get it.
So, sir, let me just chip in this question very briefly, sir. What of the lands that, you talked about families owning land and all these things before. If the government comes one day, they say that, okay, now that land belongs to government and everything, and they make it committed, does the family have any say?
If government say that a land is committed, do they have any say?
Yes, the family that maybe the family owns that land originally before.
Yes. So the answer is yes and no. Usually the family can take the government to court. Okay. In some cases, the family can write the government. So government usually give back 10% to 20% of the land back to the family as compensation. They will now give them either a C of O or a gazette, right? So, now give them title on a portion of the land. So let's say they took over 100 acres. They can give them 20 acres back with a C of O or with a gazette to say, okay, in compensation that we took this portion, we have take this portion back. Okay.
Yes. All right. Let's move on, sir. I'd like to ask, what does freehold land? What's the meaning of that? Freehold land.
Yes, beautiful. So a freehold land basically is now a land that is not have any form of encumbrance. There is no form of acquisition. Free land. No, of course, it does not yet have a title, but it is free. It doesn't have a COO yet. It doesn't have, but it is not. So usually when you buy such land, you can now go ahead and process your COO. But one of the times, a lot of times I tell people, if you are waiting for a land that has COO, particularly in Lagos, you're on your own, right? Because they are too expensive. So you may want to start with a freehold land, right? Where you buy a freehold land, you can go to, if you have good lawyers and all of that, or you are dealing with a good company, you can go and process your COO. These things are getting easier by the day. In fact, a new website is coming out very soon where Lagos State government is automating the whole process, and many other governments have started. Ogun State, yes, in Ogun State, just go to Ministry of Land with your with your survey and your deed of assignment, and you process your COO. Very easy. But if you are waiting to buy the one that already has COO, usually the prices are so high, and you may not even be able to afford it. So I tell people, start somewhere. And that's why I'm saying today again, go and buy land anywhere. Go and buy it now. Buy what you can afford. If you say, oh, me, I must buy Lekki Phase 1, Lekki Phase 2. Do you have the money of Lekki Phase 1? A lot. I see people tell me, I want to buy Lekki Phase 1. I say, okay, what's your budget? They say, my budget is around 20 million. You cannot find a land in Lekki Phase 1 for less than 150 million now.
Wow.
So, yes, 150 million. Anybody selling anything less than that, there's something on that land. Is it that there's a court case? Is it that, the document is fake? There is something on the land. But a lot of our people, they don't understand this pricing. So people are able to just bamboozle them. I remember one of my staff was telling me of somebody who bought a house somewhere not too far from Chevron. And he bought it for 60 million. Right? Later now they are discovering that the title, the document of that land is not perfect, even though it was even a house he bought. But I said, what do you expect? To have bought a house, right, in a place where most of the land, 600 square meter is in 100 million, 120 million, then you bought a house for 60 million. You should have known that something is wrong somewhere.
Hey.
Yeah.
If you buy us like this, see, at the year 120, 150, 150. Wow. Okay, so I saw one interesting question down here. Let me just ask that. The person is asking that, can the government take over a land that already has COO?
No, they can't, but there's something called revocation. So the governor can governors are powerful. I love I love when we Nigerians just do you know that Nigerian president is the most powerful president in the world in terms of what the law gives him? He can do and undo, and there's nothing that will happen. right? So the governor can revoke the C of O, even though he has been given. Yes, and they do it sometimes. You know,
Wow.
but of course you can take them to court. If you have strong lawyers, you may even end up winning in court. Court is the hope of the last. I mean, you know, the judiciary is the hope of the common man. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. All right. So moving on. Let me ask. What does excision and gazetted land mean? You know, there are some we hear gazetted. So what does that also mean? Excision and gazetted land.
Beautiful, beautiful question. So remember that we talked about the fact that usually when government takes over, acquire a land, they will give back some portion. So usually when they give back a portion to the family, it comes in form of what we call excision, right? That's the portion that has been given back. Please don't call me. Let's have,
guys, you know, because there are a lot of people on this live video. We have right now, we have over 500. By statistics, more than 1,000 that are joining, and so some people maybe network. So please, nobody should call so that others can enjoy the program, please.
So yes, so usually, remember we said government takes over the land and then they'll give back a portion back to the family. So usually when they give back that portion, the title that comes on it is called excision. However, if that excision is now publicized, right, as you know, it's called gazette. You know, when they say they gazetted something, and usually many people, this is another mistake people don't know. A gazette is more powerful than a C of O. But what most Nigerians know is C of O, C of O. Gazette by law is more powerful. You can revoke a C of O, but you can't revoke a gazette. Because a gazette is a declaration of law. Right? Yes. So when they say the social law has been gazetted, so the same thing in this case. When government release back the land, in many cases, it then comes in form of gazette. In fact, some governors have stopped giving out gazette because when they now realize that gazette is more powerful, C of O is for 99 years. Gazette does not have a tenure. If you have a C of O on a land, it's for 99 years. After 99 years, you know, we still don't even know what will happen after 99 years because the law is still 1978. So it hasn't reached 99 years, so we don't even know what will happen. I mean, sometimes our law is confusing. but when a land has a gazette, there's no tenure attached to it. So that even gives it, so, which again, most people do. The ignorance when it comes to property in Nigeria is funny. People are so ignorant. They don't even know. Right? They don't even know. So you see some people saying, hey, I prefer a land with C of O. A gazetted land is even far better. You know, but they don't even know these things. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, sir. So now you have even told us that gazetted is even more powerful in cases. Yes. So let's ask. There's also this one that, in fact, most of the time now, when you see properties online, you see this, or you will see some they will declare some titles. So, and there's one that we see sometimes to governor's consent. So, what is the difference between governor's consent and C of O?
Beautiful. Yes. I hope you guys are getting value. By the way, if you're getting value, just type I'm getting value. Because by the way, you will not see this kind of topic anywhere else except on Macaroni channel. This is and this is life-changing because people have lost billions of dollars, so not even naira, to issue of land fraud and not understanding. People have lost money. So can we all clap for Macaroni for making this happen? Because people are because people's lives are changing by what they are learning today. At least now you understand some things. So a C of O is called Certificate of Occupancy. Is a document that the governor gives someone to own a land for 99 years, right? A certificate of occupancy. So it means the governor is saying you have the right, you own this land for 99 years. While a governor's consent is usually required when the C of O you got. You remember, sometimes we buy land, the land already has C of O before we bought it. So to remember, the law says governor is the overall when it comes to land. To now show, to now prove, for the governor to be aware that even though the name on the C of O is Orimo Guje, but it has now been transferred to Mr. Macaroni. Right? That's where governor's consent comes in. So the governor is consenting to the fact that Macaroni bought a land that already has a C of O from Orimo Guje.
Macaroni now owns it.
Macaroni is now the new owner of that land, and not Orimo Guje, who initially has it. So another word for it is to say you have registered your deed of assignment. So the land you bought, you have now registered. The governor is aware that a transaction took place, that there was a change of ownership.
So since this one is coming from the governor now, is the governor giving you the consent? Can he now revoke it again? I'm telling you that.
Again, remember the real titles on that land is still C of O. The governor's consent is just that the governor is consenting to the transaction.
Okay.
That is aware that that C of O that used to bear also person's name, the new owner has changed. So the real title still remains C of O in terms of any core thing. Now the reason for revocation sometimes is maybe the process of acquiring the C of O they felt is fraudulent, but it's not something that happens in all cases. It's not even something that usually happen in retail, in individual purchases. You bought your 1 plot, 1 acre, it doesn't happen. Usually that happen where maybe somebody got 100 acres, worth of C of O. So a new governor comes and say, no, it was because that guy is the party of the former governor, So sometimes it's politically motivated, those kind of issues, and it's not frequent, it's rare. And at that level, people like that too will go to court, and in some cases they will still win. So it's just that it's a temporary, we revoke. Usually the person will still win in court.
I think with this your explanation, Doctor, you have answered the question of someone is asking that is the governor's consent also for 99 years? But with your explanation, yes, because you just told that the governor's consent is just like your own C of O.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Okay. So let me then ask, since there's all this rubodillion on the title, it can, for at least we thank God it is no longer confusing. A lot of us, if you're courtesy the information you are getting from Dr. Stephen now, you can see that there are different lands and different titles, and you'll have a better understanding. So I want to ask you now, sir, is buying land directly from Omonile advisable?
Don't do it, though. Madon. Wow. Don't do it. It is, in fact, the biggest mistake a lot of people have made, and the reason they do it is because they always advise that area, you buy the land cheap. It's not going to be expensive. All these estate people are just extorting you. But what often happens? Thank you, I appreciate it. But what often happens when you buy land directly from families is situation where sometimes they've sold that land to 5 different people, even before you came. Wow. So at the end of the day, at the end of the day, it's the most powerful person that will end up owning the land. That's problem number 1. Problem number 2, the Bale is probably in his 70s and will soon die. The day he dies, the children come back and say, when did our father sold the land to you? In fact, let's even assume he sold it. He sold it to you at 500,000. The worth of the land now is 5 million. What are you talking about? Come and pay again. So, in some cases as well, the person who got the money disappears. And Nigeria is quite big. He disappeared to thin air. And you only pay to an individual. Even if you catch the individual and you take the person to court, he tells the judge, it's true, I collected money, but I don't have the money again. Family said, there's nothing you can do. Even the judge will say, so how long can you pay back? Can you pay 20 years from now? He can tell you that he can only be paying 500 naira every month. There's nothing the judge can do. Of course, they can send him to prison, but does that return your money? No. Right? So it's wisdom to buy from a registered organization, from a company. The advantage of that is because if it becomes an issue, you can take a company to court. And as long as they have assets, court can freeze their assets and sell it and pay you back your money. But you bought from Mr. Moshood, an individual. Which asset does he have? What name does he have? Exactly. So it's difficult to hold an individual when you are buying land. Difficult to hold. But if it's a company, it's a lot easier. Right? If you do business with GTEx now, aside just me being the MD of GTEx, it's a company that has assets, that has, properties, that has things. So it's easy to sue, even if me, the MD, I'm in Kotagora, I'm in UK, I'm in US. As long as GTEx has an asset, if indeed you're able to prove in court, the courts can say, give them back their land, or sell everything GTEx has and pay the person back their money. So that's the advantage of doing business with a credible registered organization that you can hold, that the law can hold, that, they can even freeze their corporate accounts and all. There's so many ways to hold a company, but individual. And unfortunately, again, people don't know this thing, I'm telling you. A lot of people say, individual, one man, let me hold. It's macaroni I'm buying from home. Macaroni, So, yeah.
I said, at least I know that the head office of GTEx is in Banana Island. That Banana Island, that is the most expensive in
Yeah.
Okay, sir. So let me ask. So, and this I'm asking, sir, is a summary of a lot of questions I've been seeing in the comments. So, okay, if I want to buy land now, or when I buy land, what will guarantee me that land is for me legally? That I will know that I will not enter Wahala.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I mean, this is probably one of the most important questions of the entire training we're doing today. Now, let me say this. A C of O does not transfer ownership to you. And this is where people have been scammed the most in buying property in Nigeria. The most. Because what the seller will just show you is C of O. And once they show you C of O, you say, only C of O. Only C of O. Confirm it. Meanwhile, what you don't know is that C of O is not yours. Except you have these two titles. Deed of assignment. A deed of assignment is the legal document that transfer ownership from the seller to the buyer. So no matter the title on a land, if there is no deed of assignment, you don't own it. Receipt does not transfer ownership. It is a deed of assignment that transfer ownership to you. So the second, yes. So the second supporting document, yes. The second supporting document that your deed should now have is called a survey. Because the survey is now the measurement and the map of the land you bought. So once you have the deed and then you have the survey, now you can say, yes, I own. Even if the land doesn't have C of O, you can now go and process it with government. Government will acknowledge that that land is your own. And they will give you a C of O. Yes. Deed of assignment and survey. Usually, many companies charge separately from that. And that's also another place people make mistake. I'm going to say, now. Because usually, why do they charge separately? Is a lawyer, and they will not give it to somebody else. And even you don't tell you may have a lawyer while trying to buy a property. Don't tell your lawyer to prepare the deed. He doesn't know the history of the land. They have to cite the history. So a lawyer of the seller usually will charge sometimes 5%, 10% of the value of the land. The surveyor of the owners of the land will also charge, right? Sometimes a portion. So usually they charge separately for the document from the real money you pay for land. So a lot of us, once we get receipt and we heard that the land has C of O, say, Motirale. When you go to court, the judge will tell you, you don't own the land. Receipt doesn't transfer. Receipt just show that truly they collected your money. So should they refund you or how? But it doesn't mean you own the land.
So, in summary, if anyone sells a land to you or wants to sell a land to you, they must give you the deed of assignment and the survey.
You must usually, like I said, though, they charge it separately. So ask. Yes, okay. So ask. Okay, the land costs 10 million. Okay, how much is now for the deed and the survey? Because the process is this. When you want to buy land from GTEx, for example, first step, you know, I will link you with one of our wealth advisors, and I'm going to be doing that for at least the top 20 people today who reach out to me. First 20, because last time there were a lot of people reaching out. I couldn't even attend to everybody, right? I run a very busy itinerary. So we're going to do that. So you talk to a wealth advisor in GTEx. Next step, they give you a form. You fill the form. The form contains, usually the form has FAQ. Where is the land? What title is on the land? How does all the stories you may have is there on the form. All the how much is the documentation you will pay is on the form. So after you fill the form, you then make payment for the land, right? On the form, you also see the cost of the documentation. You can pay all together, or you can later come back and say, I will pay for the document maybe in 1 month's time or in 6 months' time. For those who pay installment, because a lot of people, maybe the land is 10 million, they first deposit 2 million, then they want to pay the rest in 3 months. Do you see now? So it's after they are done paying that they can now pay for document and ask for a document. So what they get once they are not done paying is also what we call contract of sale. The contract states that you are trying to buy this land. This is how you have agreed to be making the payment. And the contract comes after you have made the initial payment, right? So you get a receipt, you get a contract of sale. But if you have finished paying for the land, then you should go ahead and pay for the document so that the surveyor and the lawyer of the company can prepare your survey. Usually that takes 4 to 8 weeks to prepare. It's not something you can get overnight because they have to go measure the land and, you know, quote the details of that in your deed of assignment. So these are things people need to understand when buying property. Unfortunately, like I said, trainings like this don't happen. People don't know all these things, and they just fall into the hand of, you know, and they are victims. I really empathize with many of you who have lost money, and I hope from today, at least with what you have learned today, you know, yes,
So I want to believe everyone watching us, everyone listening to us, you are grabbing one or two things. Once again, let me bring to your information that this special live edition is sponsored by Dr. Stephen Akintayo. I'm hosting it, but without, you know, I love to host things like this, but sometimes we also need to say, what's going on here? You know, we need to freaky some accounts. You understand? But because, like I mentioned earlier, when I was introducing Dr. Stephen, I said Dr. Stephen is personally invested with the mission of building the largest green and smart homes in Africa. Apart from that, he's invested in making the lives of our youths better via investments and via trainings like this. So let's check homes. I want to ask, now, you are the MD and you're the CEO of GTEx. I want to ask, what are the steps that GTEx themselves, like GTEx as a company, you are the... What? Are you with me, doctor?
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay, sir. So I want to ask, what has GTEx Global done to make sure that customers don't have land issues? Let me give you an example, sir. For instance, maybe I'm working somewhere. Maybe I'm not even working in Nigeria, or maybe I'm working somewhere far away. Even if I'm in Nigeria, somewhere far away, and I buy a land, and I say, oh, my brother or my sister, something, go and collect land documents from GTEx Stone, something. How can we ensure? Because, you know, if family collects it and they go and sell the land or something, how do we ensure that does not happen? Because we've heard a lot of cases like that. So what is GTEx do to ensure that something like that does not happen?
I mean, very good question. In fact, I remember the story of a guy. He is in diaspora, putting $20,000 to buy 1 acre in Korodu. His father was his representative. Truly, they didn't scam him. The father got the document. Only for the father to call him and say, my son, I'm broke, I need money. And once he said, things are tough, I don't have money, the father will go and sell one plot. Biological father. And the entire the entire 1 acre was sold, 6 plots sold by the father. That's how $20,000 disappeared. So when and we've had stories like this. So GTEx was the first in Nigeria to partner with DHL to send clients' documents to them anywhere in the world without extra cost. Anywhere. So no third party involved. If you want to involve third party, no problem. We don't have a problem with that. But if you say, which we've had many clients, I don't trust anybody in Nigeria. Just send my document to me, JJ, where I am in Chicago, right? And I'm fine with it. So that's one of the unique things we've done. We're also the first to actually start live streaming where people are able to buy properties virtually. Because they're able to, they don't need to come physically down to Nigeria. They're able to see the property. I mean, we did that even on your show when you tour one of our estates in Ibejuleki. So we love to do a lot of that because we know many people can't travel down. Even COVID has put pressure on a lot of people not to be able to travel. So they are able to see what they are buying virtually. And then we send their document to them. Even the day we are doing allocation, we always do immediate allocation for all our property. The day you are doing allocation, you join us on Zoom, you see that plot, so is your own. And we run we're also the first real estate company in Nigeria to start 247 CRM. If you call our office 3 a.m. in the morning, somebody is picking the call.
Wow.
3 a.m.
Amazing.
3 a.m. Right? But if you want to buy property from GTEx Homes, our handle is there. They are even commenting there at GTEx Homes. Send them the GM, call, or you go just Google GTEx Homes. You see all our offices. We have office in Ibadan, we have in Abuja, we have in we're opening Abeokuta, Asaba, Port Harcourt this new year. We have offices in different parts. In Lagos, we have in Omole and we have in Banana Island. Banana Island is our head office. So you have that opportunity to be able to reach out to GTEx Homes and we're able to help you secure. However, we are not cheap. And I have to be sincere. I have to be transparent. We are not cheap, right? Because we have built a brand in selling honesty, sincerity, integrity. And it's never cheap as well, right? It's one of the reasons why I can boldly come here and be doing this interview. And there's nobody saying, I freaking this company's account and they disappeared. It's because we have done things well all over the world. You know, Sunny Danger is the #1 entertainer in the North. You know, we hosted him here in Dubai. They were telling him this. You saw some of our clients. They were telling him, they said, I didn't meet this man before I wired $1 million. I knew he's a man of integrity. Right? Once it's from him, you know, no story. But there's also a cost to that. Because what people don't know is that, you know, when it comes to real estate, it's not easy. Sometimes you want to buy property, you buy a whole car just to protect people's investment. We always tell our customers, say 20 years from now, you come back, the property is there. 20 years from now. Because we've put structures in place. You know, we've even had to partner on our board. Sitting on security on our board is a retired IG of police, just so that there is no issue of security on site. So there's so much that kind of structure comes with. There's so much, right? So we're not cheap. The cheapest of our estate is 5 million just for land. Some are as high as 40 million, particularly the ones in Lekki Express Road, the one in Ogudu GRA. So we have some as cheap as 5 million. So you are getting some up to 50% discount if you pay now. So there are that opportunity. Then there's also flexible payment. Sometimes, okay, I don't have the entire 40 million. Can I deposit 15 million? I spread the rest in 3 months. Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But we try to avoid anything more than 3 to 6 months. And people say, why? Because we do allocation immediately, right? And immediately we do allocation. So immediately, so we don't want things that your payment is dragging, you don't get your document on time, and then you begin to say, you know, what happened. Now, for those of you asking, we have property everywhere in Nigeria, by the way. So just call the office. There's no way, if we start analyzing, we have more than 20 estates in Nigeria alone. And we also sell property in Dubai. We sell property in London as well. So we cannot be explaining all our properties to you. Rather, you can call the office. Let me say this, and this is very important. You know, I started my, you know, many of you don't know my story. I started in Nigeria. In fact, it's a shocking story. In fact, when I say it today, people don't believe it. But I say I started my business in 1,000 naira. They're like, it's a lie. Motivational story. But it's the truth. You can, if you Google my name, you will see these write-ups 7 years ago, where maybe Tribune or Punch, Sivaktas, who started his business in 1,000 naira. It's a known fact. The pictures are there. The story is clean, right? I started very small in the country. I finished from Osu, did 5 years instead of 8 years. Look for a job, they don't give me, right? So I had no choice than to do bulk SMS. You know, bulk SMS was one of the business I've been doing. Then 2015, we started real estate. And as of 2015, we are done. We did over 200 million in bulk SMS business alone in 2015. But we will not have built multi-billionaire assets and have office in London, central London, have office in Florida, have office in Dubai. We're the biggest African hub in Dubai. If you want to register your company in Dubai, we're there for you. Africans who need offices, Africa who need investment visa. We've helped Africans build wealth, you know, in these cities of the world. But we could not have grown this way if we didn't start with real estate. I'm telling you the truth. I'm passionate about real estate, not even because it's a business we do. You don't need to buy from us. You must buy land somewhere. You must own property. And young people is important. But get we young people. You know, we young people. There's nobody to impress. So the real big boy is the person who has land. Right? Big boy, now person will get real estate investment because property keep appreciating. One of our estates that we launched October 2019 for 1.5 million is currently going for 15 million right now. October 2019, sir. October 2019 is currently going for. In fact, that's the one you went to, the one in Eleko, that berry one. Do you know when we launched that place? It was thick. If I was palm tree everywhere, bush. And I got there October, whenever 2019. You have 1.5 million come and buy. And some people bought. Today now is 15 million to buy one plot. That's why we say you don't wait to buy land. You buy land and you wait. Whoever bought that now, you pay 1.5 million. Maybe you pay for documents. There's everything 3 million then as whatever. The person has made 12 million in profit in 2 years. You can't make that in any other business. Right? You know, so let's take real estate. You don't need to buy from GTX Homes, right? Own a land somewhere, own one. There are only two people that are called lords, God and the person who owns the land.
Fantabulous. 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 The real big boy, the one I caught, the real big boy, and the one we get land. That means I need to step up my game now and, you know, land left and right so that, you know, like I said, I have to freaking land. It's land I want to be freaking.
Yeah, exactly. Freaking land. And if you not feel like, and I will advise all the freakies, stop collecting money from Macaroni. Tell him to freaky you land. right? Anytime, you know, he's saying, I want a freaking give me land.
People here want me to freaking them land. But you know, it's easy to be saying, I just sent you 200,000. Just sent you, if I just a lot of land, 5 million. Okay, so because of time, we have about 4 minutes. So then let me just ask you one quick question. Then maybe I'll just look for one, maybe from our listeners and those that are watching us. Anyone, I'll take a question also. So personally, I want to ask, you know, like I mentioned earlier, by your action self, and I'm sure those that have listened to you here today, even for the fact that you're even telling them that, look, you must own a land. It doesn't even have to be from GTEx. But you must, it shows that, it goes to show that you are watching out for the youths as a whole. So I'm going to ask one question. There are some people that are saying, okay, look, we don't have 5 million naira right now to buy land. You understand? And I also, I stand with those people as well, you know, because I believe that right now, small, you just shared the story that you two did not have it all at once. So for those people that still want to tap into what you are doing, how can they say, okay, maybe they want to sell land for GTEx homes, or they want to, in one way, do something and earn commission? How can they be a part of that?
Beautiful question. You'll be glad to know that this year alone, GTEx has paid over 200 million naira in salaries and commissions to young people, mostly young people. So we created a program called GTEx and Associates, where even though you don't have a full-time job with us, you are still our staff. You use the internet, you promote our estate. Somebody said, I want to buy. We have support that they are the ones to take the client to site. You don't even need to take it. Just link the client to the office and you get 10% of whatever they pay. If they paid, you know, if they bought a land of 10 million, 1 million is yours. No story, no question, no. And this year we have paid over 200 million to people who did that, right? This year alone. So you can join that program. It's called gtexandassociates.com, right? So you just go, gtexandassociates.com. It's a website. You go there, you sign up. Even that actress that I told you reach out to me, that's where I told her, I said, go register on the website, you know, even if you don't have money to start buying land now, as we now start paying you commission, okay, you know, start using the commission to buy your own properties. I think I've just typed it, yes, GTEx, www.gtexandassociates.com. You go there, you fill the form, you sign up, you will now get a mail in your inbox or spam box. It has a WhatsApp group. Join the WhatsApp group. They will give you also the link on how to download all our flyers, all our videos, all our marketing materials, and you are now registered with us. If you go there, yes. Because I had to do that because, like you said, that I also started that small. So we said 20% of whatever we make goes back to those people.
Amazing. So guys, please take advantage. For those that will be saying, okay, I don't have amounts to invest here to, but I also want to be a part of the GTEx family. GTEx and Associates is there for you. Visit the website www.gtexandassociates.com. Just refer people to buy land. Simple one. You can imagine if you refer someone to buy land of 50 million or a house of 100 million or something. That 100 million, that means you get, if they do 100 million, that means they'll get 10 million.
Absolutely. Absolutely. 10 million cash. No story, no question.
Wow. All right. Fabulous. Thank you very much, sir. Let me, sir, I said I will take just one question, and so that we can save this live video. Everyone, I will be saving this live video on my timeline so that you can have access to it. It is going to be on my page so that even those that were not able to join the live video can watch and learn one or two things. I also drop comments that you can read through. For instance, this website will be there. For more information, I'll put GTEx home so that everyone can have access to the channels they need to make inquiries to. So just one last question, then you can also give us 5 points. The question someone asked there that I picked is that if someone buys a land and does not build anything for 5 years, I think there's a conception about that. If you buy land and you don't do anything on it for 5 years, that they will take the land back from you. How true is that?
Well, I can't speak for any other company. I can only speak for GTEx Homes. We do not do that. right? 20 years from now, as the Lord liveth, 100 years from now, your land is there, even when I'm long gone. One of the good things about GTEx is a very structured organization. We have a lot of non-Nigerians working with us. Our CPO is an Indian. He's been into construction for over 20 years. And so what we've done is to build a structured institution that is there. So with or without me, the system works. So that's what GTEx has done. Your land is there any day, anytime. You don't need to be in Nigeria to buy property from GTEx. 95% of our customers are not in Nigeria. Many of our clients are based in diaspora, and they will tell you that they've dealt with us and it has been a fantastic relationship. So you can keep your land for 20 years. What we do is we divide our land into two. A portion is called GTEx land. So some of you in your document, you see GTEx land. Half of it we are building our own house, our own green and smart. So we are doing our own house, your own land. Anytime you want, build your thing, right? While we will develop our own house on one side. Those who buy land, they're on the other side. So everybody is on a good note.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Dr. Stephen Akintayo. This has been another wonderful edition of this chat with you. We want to believe more than the potential investments that will come. This alone, adding value to the listeners, is amazing, and a lot of them have confirmed. Please, if you confirm that, they're already giving me signal. Okay, like I said, I'm going to put this video live.
So you chat me up on WhatsApp, no call, and I will make sure we guide you and you're able to invest. State your budget straight to the point, and we'll see how we can guide you on just state your budget. Whatever is your budget, let us know and we'll work with you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. So I'll put this video on my timeline. I'll also tag the handles. I'll tag Dr. Stephen's handle and GTEx Home so that you all can follow them and also make inquiries directly.
Thank you, Freaky Daddy, for having us. I have been waiting for you to freaky my account. Maybe on my page. I think you commented on something on my page. I said freaky my account. You didn't reply me. I'm reporting you to everybody. He has refused to freaky my account. It's not fair. It's only women that freakies their account. Please.
Your head office is in Banana Island. My own head office is in, I can't even mention the name.
It's not by Banana Island. It's not by Banana Island. Freaky our account. Let's all smile.
If I even try to freaky your account, I'm sure my bank will reverse it. They will now knock me down.
Lie. Try it first.
No.
But try it first. Try to freaky. Let's see whether they will return it or not.
They will not return it. I will try it. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. God bless you.